We'll now link up with Eshomo Moimudu and TJ Suadewiye in our Abuja studio for FCT Brief. Good morning, guys. Happy New Month. Over to you now.
Good morning, Veronica and the rest of the team. Happy New Month to you all.
Welcome to the great month of July. So much is on us this month of July, and something big will be happening later in the month of July. I will let you know now.
Well, I'm wondering.
Now, let's quickly talk about the president's visit to St. Lucia.
Well, it's quite a beautiful one to see President Tinubu establishing ties with the diplomatic community, to improve our tourism, trade and investment sectors, of course also boosting investments in the country. As you know, St. Lucia is quite a hub. It's a small island, but it's quite a hub for tourism, and also it has economic how would I put it now?
Economic relevance.
I think a $130 billion market. So that's quite a good one that President Tinubu is pitching into the Caribbean market, and being a significant one as St. Lucia. I think that's a very veritable one for Nigeria.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it's not about the size. It's about the capacity you're able to bring on board. For instance, if you take a nation like Israel, it's small in size in the Middle East. But if you look at the capacity of what they can bring on board, every country will want to relate with that country. So the president going to St. Lucia, it's not about the size. It's an independent country, and it's huge in tourism. We are not there in tourism. And so if we want to add, we must be able to have a synergy with those who are very good at it and understand how are they doing theirs. What are they doing that we're not doing that we should also take on board. And I think states, not just the federal government, states should begin to look at how to partner with some of these type of countries so that they can increase the tourism sector. And I think it's a good one.
Even in terms of our creative economy, I believe the Nollywood, the music industry, since St. Lucia is a hub for, tourism, they can also partner in this regard and, bring
and I'm thinking maybe by the end of the year, maybe take you out on the vacation too.
I look forward to that. I'm really looking forward to a good vacation.
Okay.
Well, good morning, Nigerians, and welcome to FCT Brief. The All Progressives Congress is gearing up for a critical moment as it formally announces the date for its National Executive Committee meeting. The high-stakes session is expected to set the tone for the party's internal leadership restructuring, especially with intensified lobbying for the national chairmanship position. With 2027 elections inching closer, the APC is entering a defining phase. The party has now fixed July 15th for its long-awaited National Executive Committee meeting, a gathering expected to address lingering leadership questions and strengthening internal cohesion. At the center of attention is the race for the national chairmanship.
Aspirants on power blocks are already jostling behind the scenes, making high-level moves to secure endorsements from influential party stakeholders. Party stakeholders say the coming weeks will be crucial as zones seek to produce a consensus candidate, while others push for open contestation. Now, for more on the way forward for the ruling party, let's bring in two gentlemen, one in the studio, Dr. George Agbakahi. Nice to have you join us.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. And the other joining us via Zoom, Alphonsus Ogar. Nice to have you join us. All right, Mr. Ogar, let's start it this way. Your party, the APC, you had your national chairman just resign. That is not the major focus. Now, there is a NEC meeting coming up where you're going to have a substantive national chairman. What should we be looking at? Is it from the North Central Zone that is saying it was originally zoned to them? Or what is going to play out in the next coming weeks in the APC?
Thank you. Let me first correct something. I am APC chairman in Cross River State, not River State.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let me secondly thank our erstwhile chairman, His Excellency Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, for a meritorious service to this party and for the reason he has given as his health challenge. We pray that God will be merciful to him and speedy recovery to him. For the party APC, Our governors have said it clearly. We are evolving. The beauty about the structure of our leadership is that from the moment the ex-National National Chairman resigned, the Deputy National Chairman North, who was former State Chairman of Borno, who is today the acting National Chairman, is a man that comes with so much experience, and I must commend his leadership. Yesterday, the NWC met and have fixed July 24th for the holding of the NEC. That is to make sure that we meet the 21 days notice that is required to be given to INEC. The agenda for that meeting has not been clearly stated. And like it is said by Dewale, until the rotten tooth is pulled out, the mouth must chew with caution. Yes, it is our desire that the vacancy created by the exit of the erstwhile chairman should be filled in a NEC meeting. The issue of open contestation is not what I foresee, because going by experience, in August of 2023, after the resignation of Dr. Abdullahi Adamu in July 2023, we did not go into a full-blown contest to bring in His Excellency Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. And I believe by the grace of God, we have a good leadership, a very vibrant and a visionary one, in person of His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He will, in consultation with other party leaders, take a decision on that. Yes, the issue of North Central has been on the front burner. For the sake of equity and justice, a lot of people feel it should go that way. I share similar sentiments, but who that person will be can only be decided by the leadership after due consultation with other critical stakeholders of the party.
Exactly, Mr. Ogar, because I was going to come to the question of the many speculations that have trailed the stepping down of Ganduje. Some say that it's to pave the way for George Akume, who is the current SGF, or Al-Makura, who is also from the North Central. Some are also speculating that it may be that Konkoso is planning to defect and come back into the APC and contest for the chairmanship. Which would you say is more, speculative, or which would you say is more solid, a solid speculation?
I wish I were clairvoyant. I would have answered you directly. But let's leave that in the realm of speculation. But to say this, both Senator George Akume and His Excellency Al-Makura are eminently qualified and have the capacity to run our party in the same way the ex-National National Chairman did. If any of them is lucky to find favor on the side of God and is chosen by the President in consultation with the leadership, our party will be good for it. But for now, I think we have an acting National Chairman that also has the capacity to drive this party for as long as we find it convenient to do. On the issue of Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso coming into the party, it's been an old story. And even while Dr. Ganduje was there, he offered the olive branch and opened his arms and said he was going to embrace him, not minding their political difference of the past. I do not think that the resignation of Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje has anything to do with that. The reasons have been clearly adumbrated that it is for help.
Okay, Mr. Agbakahi, just listen to what your colleague just said about open contestation and will it be zoned? In your own perspective, what do you think is the best way forward for your party, the APC, in producing the next substantive national chairman?
Thank you again for having me. Yeah. First of all, let me begin by thanking the SY National Chairman, Dr. Ganduje, for the good work he has done for the party, particularly in respect of, a tsunami of defections, that has now come into the APC. I think is a step in the right direction. He did a pretty good job. All kudos to him. But politics is pretty dynamics. And when you consider the internal dynamics of APC, particularly in respect of zoning. In politics, and even in democracy to some extent, we consider justice, consider equity, and all along, the national chairman of APC was supposed to have come from North Central. That is the truth, and if you come to look at it, North Central is pretty significant, in the political permutation of the coming 2027 election. Mind you, the political contestation in North Central in 2023 election was very tough, in such a way that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu garnered 1.7+ million votes in North Central. Obi of Labour Party followed a little bit close, got 1.4 million, almost 1,450,000 votes over there in North Central. Whereas Atiku got 1,025,000 votes. So taking these dynamics into consideration, we really need North Central. North Central traditionally has been a hotbed of APC. Mind you, even in 2011 election, CPC, which is one of the blocks that made up APC, a candidate of CPC, I think Senator Al-Makura, surprised the entire nation by winning a governorship election in Nasarawa State. So what I'm saying in effect is this. I really, on my own personal opinion, plead to the party to allow North Central to produce, the next national chairman of the party. But now coming to that, there are so many people that are already, coming out for this, according to news report. But first of all, we need somebody with requisite experience. We need somebody with credibility. You know what I mean? We need somebody that is charismatic. We need somebody that can carry along, members of the APC and also resolve internal disputes, which is also one of the major challenges that the party is facing, particularly now that we have gotten, a lot of members, from other political parties. I think so far about 3 governors or thereabout have joined the APC, and numerous senators, numerous House of Rep members have all joined APC. So we need a national chairman that can be able to gather everybody together. You see what I'm saying? We need a national chairman that can, more importantly, reach out to establish bases in the country, be it military, be it geopolitical base, be it religious, or even demography, youth, women group. So that is the kind of thing we need in the party. So the national, I'm delighted the National Working Committee will be meeting, pretty soon before the NEC meeting that will really determine. In my view, I would really want the party to look at getting a substantive chairman, as quickly as possible, because the party has a lot of things, to do. The election is coming up barely 2 years from today.
All right, Mr. Agbakahi, let's turn to the southeast. Has the APC in that region really moved on from what many have described as Ganduje's undue influence, especially in Anambra? I'm talking about maybe how the primary elections were handled in that region, because some controversies have trailed how primaries are being held in some regions, including Anambra. So can you give us an answer to that?
Politics is all about interest. I think what happened in Anambra State is not different from what happens in other states. There are various interests in Anambra State APC. And I think the election that was conducted in Anambra State, the primary election, I think followed the rule of law. Mind you, there is no election in this great country that you won't see people that would oppose the outcome of the election. You know, what I would urge our brothers and sisters of APC in Anambra State is to rally round, you know, Nicholas Okachukwu, who has become the, you know, candidate of the party. You know, I think we have good chances of winning in Anambra State. But in the entire Southeast, I think APC has made tremendous inroad in the Southeast. Mind you, in Ebonyi State, the governor there is APC. In Imo State, the governor and also the, you know, chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum is APC. Omahi is there also in Ebonyi. And, you know, the young man who is the deputy speaker of the House of Representatives is from Abia State. What you are seeing is this. APC will definitely do well in the Southeast because of the current political realities in the country. There are a lot of problems in Labour Party. There are a lot of problems in PDP. So APC is taking advantage of all this internal disunity in all these parties, you know, to permeate the grassroots. And that's exactly what is happening.
All right, thank you. Mr. Ogar, APC is like on the march again to get its national chairman. Some persons say, do you really need to rush into having a substantive national chairman when you have an active one? You have so much things on the table. You have defections coming to your party. Even if you're going to get a national chairman, should it be somebody that can match up the capacity, the pace of Mr. President? People say he's one of the most thoroughbred politicians in Nigeria. Don't you think you also will need a national chairman, probably who is also young, vibrant, and can match that level so that the president will concentrate on running the system, and you also have a party chairman also that can help in fixing the leakages in the party, talking about some of the crises in some of the states. Are you there?
If you listen to my opening remarks,
yeah.
I spoke about the Yes, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, very well.
Can you hear me?
Very well, very well.
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
In my opening remarks, I spoke about the competence. I spoke about the competence and political sagacity of the person of Honorable Alibuka Dalori. I was privileged to be the secretary, and I am still the secretary of the Forum of State Chairmen when he was the chairman of the Forum of Chairmen before he became the deputy national chairman North. If I have found a young man that has grassroots appeal, that is humble, that has the intellectual acumen and the social connection and outreach, I would say Alibuka Dalori is one of those persons. He has some days, weeks to act. I am sure if we are too comfortable with his acting, there will be no need to rush into a substantive issue, because even the tension that is brewing now, as if it's going to be a contest for the office of national chairman, substantive national chairman, I am not so comfortable with it. But I trust in the judgment of Mr. President. Like you rightly said, this is the first time in the history of Nigeria that we have a well-baked, seasoned politician as the president of Nigeria. And he thinks
Mr. Agbakahi, you want to talk about the capacity of who should be? He has just suggested that why don't you continue with the acting national? Even the PDP has been running for some time with acting national chairman, so there's nothing bad about it, don't you think so?
To me, like I said earlier, there are various blocks that formed APC. And if you remember, at some point, either late last year, there, a lot of the CPC bloc, we are not happy with the way that they are being sidelined. And many of them were intending to move to another party. APC is a big party that can accommodate everybody.
Okay, sorry, I'll come back to your land. Mr. Ogar is there with to complete his line of reasoning. So please, you have the floor, sir.
Okay, what I was saying, the issue is the competence of Alibuka Dalori a man whom I have worked closely with and who has the capacity to manage his party even in acting capacity. There is no need rushing into it. I hope that the 24th date is a day that has been fixed so that we can meet up the deadline with INEC. But Mr. President, in his own wisdom, when he returns, we will need his actual approval and convenience to see whether the date of 24th July will be for actual election. But I want to appeal to everybody whose name has been mentioned, whether it is Senator Dallon, whether it's Senator George Akume, whether it's Excellency Al-Makura, or whoever will come on the line, to understand that at this moment, the shoes that have been left by Alhaji Umar Ganduje is so big, going by the level of his achievements. So we need somebody who has also worked closely with him to continue for some time in acting capacity. That is my own view, but it is subject to what Mr. President will do. All right, on the issue of the blocks, I agree totally. Tanko Al-Makura's group comes from the CPC block, and to be fair and just, they are entitled to be considered. Yes, Senator George Akume, there have been a lot of sentiments. Oh, we have a president that is a Muslim, we have a vice that is a Muslim, so the national chairman should be a Christian. All these sentiments are very, very well appreciated, but we leave that to the wisdom and judgment of Mr. President to lead us right.
All right, Mr. Ogar, let's come to a very big question that a lot of your members of your party seems to be dodging, which is the running mate, President Tinubu's running mate in 2027. Why does it seem that no one wants to talk about it? Isn't avoiding the topic just averting sort of like a doomsday?
No, there is not as if nobody wants to talk about it. Okay, let me be the first to talk about it, and I want to be quoted. My name is Alphonsus Ogar. I'm APC State Chairman in Cross River State. I have the privilege of being the Secretary of the Forum of APC, but let me speak for myself. When it was so difficult for us in 2023, and we needed to win, we came up with the best political mathematical calculation of bringing two human beings who have been tested and trusted, as Siwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu and His Excellency Senator Kashim Shettima. In my own view, nobody changes a winning team. As I sit down here, I publicly endorse the choice of President Tinubu and H.E. Kashim Shettima. But that is Alphonsus Ogar speaking. This is subject to whatever Mr. President will do. But the President I know has so much implicit confidence on His Excellency Kashim Shettima. And I pray every day. Don't forget they call me the political evangelist. It is my prayer that God will hear my prayers and two of them will fly together in 2027 because nobody changes a winning team. Our best team, even that moment of political crucibles, was to bring in Kashim Shettima. We performed well. He will do better, even in 2027.
All right.
But the endorsement angle that is ongoing, and I respect the judgment of the zones, you will only have to endorse Mr. President, who will now have a right to choose his running mate. Don't forget, we are talking about 2027 primaries. So all the parties have tried to do and the stakeholders' engagement is to say, Mr. President, you will be our sole candidate for 2027. And at that point, you don't need to say it is Mr. President and Senator Kashim Shettima yet. But I know, and as I have said, and as I am praying, His Excellency Kashim Shettima will run with Mr. President. I pray so, and God will hear my prayers.
All right, thank you very much. Let me come back to you here in the studio. The APC, we just talked about the issue of the possible vice presidential candidate in 2027. But I also remember when the president bought his tickets. The last time he bought his ticket as an individual. Probably that is why people are saying, okay, it's just about the president. It is after his emergence, he picked a running mate. Running mate ticket was not bought alongside. So this way, what do you think should be the way forward for your party? The national chairman, this is huge argument about where he should go. The vice president, another argument. Don't you think it's too much coming on your party at the same time? So people say the party may implode. People are coming to your party. Don't you think it's too much coming at the same time?
No, I don't really think there is going to be an implosion in any way in All Progressive Congress. I think the party has, its conflict resolution mechanism, in case if there are issues to be resolved. Like I said earlier, I still believe that the national chairman of the party is supposed to come to North Central, and the party also needs to consider other blocks, either the AMPP block or the CPC block for the chairmanship position. In respect of the issue of the vice president, I heard my friend, who is the president's spokesman, Bayo Nanoga, made a commentary on that particular issue. He said that there is no problem, there are no issues between the president and the vice president. And I believe that. And he also said that the issue of vice presidential, nomination comes immediately after the president gets the ticket of the APC to run for a second tenure. That is the way it goes all over the world, even in the United States. After the primary election, the president wins, then he now chooses his running mate. But in my own view, I believe that the current vice president, Shetima, has played a huge role, in bringing stability to the party. And mind you, during the presidential primaries of the party in 2022 and 23, Kashim Shetima, Al-Makura, and of course, El-Rufai, were the three major northerners that spearheaded, the campaign of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I mean, during the primary election. So, the vice president has been there during thick and thin, and I expect wholeheartedly that Mr. President will take him as his running mate in the 2027 election.
All right, Mr. Ogar. Well, I'm a bit concerned about, what the party is doing concerning, rising tensions and different blocs scrambling for one position or the other. How is the party planning to manage these several interests and ensuring that, this does not boomerang into some kind of internal conflict that will cause the party to implode?
No, what the various blocs are doing is just to put a humble request. These are not agitations, and nobody is agitated by this kind of humble request. Like if you listen to the CPC bloc, don't forget, we had Mr. President Buhari that came from that bloc as president and commander-in-chief barely 2 years ago. People are saying, no problem, CPC, you just had opportunity. But if you're asking for this, let us weigh the political field and see where you will belong. And they have been very humble and very loyal to the party. There is no agitation. The AMPP bloc, I happen to come from the AMPP bloc before moving to the PDP and now back here. Kashim Shetima, His Excellency, is from the AMPP bloc, and they are already being accommodated. If you come to see the scenario now, we have a magic wand to solve this problem, but I kept telling you that Mr. President is one man whose political judgment I respect so much. He will find a solution to it. Don't forget, in this country, we have never heard of the word placeholder. But when in 2022, Mr. President had to bring in somebody to say, you are a placeholder before I will get my presidential, vice presidential candidate, everybody was thrown off balance. I know the game that is going on because I've been a good student of President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu School of Thought. I know what he is doing. There is nothing to worry about. There will be no implosion. If there is anything, APC has become so attractive. We just had two governors from the South that joined us. We are going to Benin on Thursday. And by the time we come out of that meeting, I can tell you for free that both Rivers and Bayelsa will join us by the grace of God, because in the South, we want to now dictate the pace in this country. We provide and control the economy. We want to control too the politics of this country by having a united front that will support Mr. President in appreciation for all the good work he's doing for us.
All right, Mr. Ogar, it's a fine place to leave it. Thank you so much for joining us on the program this morning. It was a delight speaking with you. Also, Mr. Agbakahi, Thank you so much for your contributions on the program this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
You call
Thank you,
Alphonsus,
gentlemen.
Mr. I think it's an
It's our
evangelist.
pleasure. Thank you very much.
Okay, evangelist.